Alright, so this is part 2 of the Bannerlord walkthrough introduction, and let's get right into it. So we start off back where we were, leaving Sunoka, heading to the little town, or a little village, which we're just going to keep following the same pattern, meeting everybody, checking what they have to buy, taking note of the cost of everything,
Oi!
and moving on. It's not a bad price, 16. You can usually get it down to about 5 or 6 in certain areas. But this area, it's a little bit more expensive, so you gotta deal with it. We'll recruit a couple of soldiers because we're almost to 22. And we'll head on to the next one, which can go to this one, but kind of want to try to stay close by to where we're heading, this circle that we're trying to do. Again, follow the same pattern, meet everybody, check the costs. You see this one's a little expensive. Moving on to the horse farm. So yeah, this is the tedious introduction, or the tedious beginning part that you have to do. You have to meet everybody, and you have to establish kind of a foothold on what you're trying to accomplish. Because you don't have a lot of money, and you don't have a lot of people, so you can't really go anywhere. At some point, you'll have enough money to where you can buy a caravan from a city, which will just generate income through trade, or you can actually buy a storefront and produce your own and supply your storefront with raw materials from villages, which will create a stream of revenue. So we're going to go to the city here, meet everybody. I also like to check to see if there's any tournaments going on, because tournaments are a great way to practice as well as earn money and notoriety. Check the troops and the trade. We have a little bit of money and a little bit of food, so we should be alright. Since we stopped at that horse farm, we'll skip over this and we'll go to the next one. Now we don't want to go north because we'd be heading a little bit too far away from the circle that we're trying to create. Another thing to notice is that these small armies that are around you, like this one to the left of 70 troops, if you don't have to go out of your way, it's a good idea to stop and meet them, because they're lords and it's good to meet them as well. They can become your friends and allies later on. And then we're going to stop here and attack this little forest bandit group, which is getting attacked by a pretty large army. So we're just going to join them.
Under my orders!
Obviously they don't need our help, but it's a good idea to just join in and get some experience and some loot and meet the lord, or the noble. Get on face to face. They have a much larger army, much more advanced troops. But you'll get there eventually. And then at some point you'll have such a strong army that you'll be taking out these armies at will. And I always like to check to see if I leveled up or if anybody got wounded or downed or killed. And we got a Norse, which is worth a good amount of money. So let's just talk to him.
If you please.
Archon. His name's Archon. I like that. Nice to meet you. So those yellow options are referring to your main quests, which this one is to talk to certain nobles that remember an ancient battle. So this is another hero. It's good to just meet him and talk to him so you know each other. Now we couldn't trade this hatchet for 268, but I want to show you another option which will generate some income with weapons that you loot. So if you smelt this weapon, it will give you raw materials. Each weapon gives you different raw materials, and it costs 1 charcoal to smelt. It gives you these 3. So how do we smelt? We use two hardwood, and it smelts into 1 charcoal, so we need 2 hardwood. And we don't have any, so let's see if we can buy some. Alright, we can't buy any, so we'll just hold on to it, I guess. Now this is a choice that you can make, is either sell it for the cost that it allows you to, or smelt it to see if you get more money for the raw materials. Now, usually what I like to do is anything under 100 gold or deniers, I'll smelt. But I just wanted to show you this option. Plus it levels up your guy with blacksmithing. So you notice that the little red circles, the little arrows around my icon there, that just means he's disorganized, the army is, so it makes your army move a lot slower. So you're disorganized for a little while your guys are getting back in order. And it's good to take note of their speed as well as your speed, whether it's in the open like this or through forests, because it takes longer to run through forests, so you might be able to catch them if they're running through a forest. But we're not going to because they're too fast. So we're just going to move on. Again, take note of the cost of grain. This is 18, so you can see it's getting a little more expensive as we go. They have some good recruits, but don't really have the money. You can see we have 673 gold, and it's costing us 36 a day, which is around 5% of our total income. You kind of want to keep it under 10% if you can help it, because if you keep your daily wages under 10% of your total gold, you'll be okay in the beginning. Gives you enough time to get things moving. So recruiting the more advanced troops would cost a little bit too much for us at the moment. And we have 5 days of food, which is pretty good for right now. At least gets us moving. Oh, we got a pretty good group of looters here. That would be a good battle because they outnumber us a little bit. But we are stronger, so they're going to run away from us. And there's a bigger one over there, which they will join up and fight you all at once. So if there's like 3 or 4 groups that are really large, you want to take note. Do you want to take on 40 guys? Most likely not. So this one costs a little bit less, it's 16. Now we still got 5 days worth of food, so we don't need to buy anything. So I would just take note of that. And these looters are too much for us. See, if he heads towards them, they're going to join up and attack you both at once. So you don't want to do that. Even though they're just looters, they'll take you down or kill most of your men and have you run away. Which you can run from battles and abandon your men just so you survive. It's not a good way to go because you just worked really hard to get all these men and train them up, so you don't want to abandon them. Again, meet everybody, check the products. This one's 32, so if you bought some grain and sold it here, you might make a little profit. These castles are not really worth stopping in. They have lords in them sometimes, so you can meet, but that's all you can do there. Is meet the lord, or if they have prisoners or whatever. Just meet everybody again. This guy has a job for us. He needs help with some bandits, which is another mission that you can take on while you're training your troops up, is take out a couple groups of bandits for this guy. Which essentially is what you're doing anyway, so you might as well get paid for it. So this next one is a wood-producing village, which should have cheaper wood than the towns or the cities. They got a couple troops. So the cost is 22. It's much cheaper than the towns. You can see it's comparable. And then you just buy a couple, so we only need a couple. You don't want to get crazy. Buy a ton of it, waste all of our money. Now we're down to 10%, which is really close, because you don't want to be more than 10%. You're right on the limit there with your daily party wage. Check our missions here. We gotta destroy 2 parties for this fella at Juckless. And then train up their troops still, which we're almost there. So the thing with training our battling troops, or battling troops, taking out bandit parties for these locals, they have to be in the proximity of the town, a certain proximity, in order to register as the type of bandit that you can take out for the mission or the quest. So let's just head into town here because we're running out of food. We're down to 3 days. Let's see what they have to trade. So it costs 18. So this one actually is cheaper than that little village by 4 gold or 4 dinars. And then this one's more expensive, 29 grand. So you can kind of see how each town and village have their own costs. So you have to just take note of it. So now if we smelt this, we gain a level in smithing. The downside is we're only going to get 38 per piece for the iron and 25 for the iron, the crude iron. So we actually lost money by smelting it because we're only getting 135 rather than the 200 and change. But that's part of the guess. You have to kind of decide, are you going to smelt it or sell it? So I usually will aim for the ones that are under 100. They'll all get smelted into raw materials. And anything above, let's say 150, get sold. That grain's a little bit expensive, so we're not going to buy it. We're going to just take the risk and see if we can find it for cheaper. Maybe over here at this town. So this guy is another fellow that needs helps with bandits, but you can only take on 1 mission with bandits.
So who he?
This guy needs some tools, or he only needs 1 tool. So that's what he's about to tell us. Says we need 1 tool by 30 days from now, which we can just go back to the town over there and buy a tool and bring it back to him, which is definitely worth the mission because he'll give you a pretty good amount of money and he'll like you more. So, and the grain is more expensive, so we want to buy it here. Let's go check this out. And then we got to stop and check out this mountain bandit here, see if we can catch it, because it's part of our mission. They can move pretty quick though, 5 speed, and we're only 4.9, so they can outrun us, but there's a lot of forest here, so if they slow down to 3.5, we can catch them now. So they're as good as dead. Or captured, depending. Mountain Bandits. Mountain Bandits are a little bit stronger
Under
than
my
looters.
command!
Looters are kind of the lowest,
Infantry!
but when
Move!
they're in large numbers, they can do some work. It's always good to put yourself as a commander of a unit, because your guy, if he's leveled up, or your person, will give them bonuses to their abilities as a unit. I always like to check to see how fast they move, just to see what we're pacing, how much time I might have. Because if we're really separated and by myself, then what I'll do is I'll kite the enemy and just kind of be like a buzzard, just distracting them while my troops are getting closer and closer. And that causes their formation to break apart, split up, to try to focus on me and focus on them at the same time, which, if you're going to split your enemy up, it's a good tactic. Alright, so we got 3 prisoners, and we can upgrade our followers. We definitely want to do that. So you might as well upgrade your borrowed troops, because that's your mission. You have to upgrade them. And then we got recruits, or Imperial recruits that can upgrade, but that costs money, so it's kind of a catch-22. But we get some pretty good loot here. We got a couple weapons, which are worth a good amount. We place our spear. We got a nice falchion, which is like a machete or a short sword. So now we can sell our weapon here, our Norse hatchet, make some money in our rusty falchion, and it changes. So we hunted down 1 of 2. And we gotta get 1 set of tools still. But we got a point we can add, so this is something to think about. What is it you want your guy to, or your person to be better at? Or learn faster, I should say. And since we're kind of focusing on smithing and we don't have a point in it, and then everything else has at least 1 point that we want to focus on. Medicine is a good one to focus on and later on, because it helps heal your troops as well as yourself. Unless you get a party member like a companion, like the surgeon that we were talking to. The surgeon will help. You can assign him to be your healer, essentially, and he'll help everybody heal faster. Moving like a snail. A disco snail. Now we only got 2 days of food, so we definitely need to buy some. But luckily we have looters as prisoners, or mountain bandits, hillmen they're called, as bandits, or as prisoners that we can sell into slave trade. Ransom your prisoners. Might as well get rid of all of them. And get 36 gold, which is not much, but every little bit helps.
Right, so...
This is the surgeon I was talking about. It's a good guy to have. There's a bunch of different kinds too. You can get a surgeon and a healer and all sorts of different kinds. But it's all taste. Whatever you prefer. Who do you prefer to have accompany you in your party? I like to keep it all mixed up so everybody's different. Makes it like a fruit salad. It's delicious. So yeah, we made a little bit of money. So let's go see what we can smelt. Might as well smelt this spear. It's not worth much. The falchion we could smelt, but we probably won't. But we need 1 wood, so we'll buy some wood. You can wait in the town, or the city. Kind of helps you heal faster if you wait in the city rather than anywhere else. So let's smelt the spear. Oh yeah, a little bit of money. And buy a couple more. Make a piece of charcoal. And smelt the falchion. Now we got all sorts of products. Iron. Let's see how much we get here. 200. That's not bad. Probably would have made more if we just sold the falchion and sold the materials from the spear, but it's no big deal. It's a guessing game until you start remembering exactly how much each thing costs. So that's where we're going to stop. I hope you enjoyed this. We're going to keep going, probably another part. Please remember to like and subscribe. I appreciate the support. Until next time.